In association with Official Wrestling comes A Few Good Marks podcast. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to A Few Good Marks. I am your host, Kieran, and I'm joined by Croft.
Hello.
Alex.
Hello.
Pete.
Hello.
And...
Phenomenal.
Willow. You wish you were phenomenal, Sunshine. You ain't no AJ Styles. So today we are talking about booking and storylines. To start off with, we're going to go through some pros and cons of storylines and booking and stuff like this and what makes it good, what makes it bad. Then we're going to go over some old storylines and say how we do them slightly different, so, try and make them better. And then we've each kind of picked storyline and type of wrestler to book. We're going to go through it, and then we've decided how we book them. So we're going to start off with pros and cons. So this is just a general question. What makes bad booking bad?
When it's overemphasized, if they really dig in with an angle and just refuse to let it go. The obvious example would be Roman Reigns. He's been pushed as the company's top face for God knows how long.
I get what you mean. When it's obvious that a lot of the hardcore fans are trying to reject
even when
that.
it's not so much working the way they'd have liked. Using the shark cage all the time.
You know why they're using the shark cage all the time?
Why?
Because they've got a toy.
Yeah.
Because they've got to do. That's literally the only reason they'll use it all the time. Because they've got a toy set with it. So that's that one.
And speaking of which, when it's
that's not really bad booking. That's just bad match play.
When it's too corporate, when they're doing it for an ulterior motive, when it's to sell something, whether it's to shill the app,
that I'll give
whatever, and the booking suffers for it. That's when it becomes bad booking.
That I will give you. Anybody else to add to that? Bad booking.
Stuff that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
There's no real motive behind it.
Yeah.
It's just two fellas or two women doing something that for no reason.
Yeah.
50-50 booking as well.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't give anyone any real momentum.
No. Just keeps everyone very much the same, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'd have to say, I don't know, there's not capitalising as well, I think is a really bad form of booking. If you've got someone who's shit hot and you don't do anything with them, or you do and then you take him down, like Zack Ryder at WrestleMania.
I like Rusev now.
And that, there's no reason why Rusev shouldn't be in a title feud, even for the US title.
He should be in the US title soon.
I've seen him in Aiden English.
And that too.
Aiden English is almost as over.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a great singer. Why
Fantastic.
not?
This is a random one, but you'd think that Sasha Banks would be booked really strong. Because she's quite revolutionary, so to speak. She's actually got the fact. See, she had to come up with stats, but here we are.
I never said that in my life, mate.
She actually has.
Where have you pulled that from?
Lowest, because it's always you coming out with the stats.
Yeah, so it's because I'm the host. It's my job.
She's got the lowest win thing on the roster. I think she's in the lowest 5.
Oh, really?
She's got the most losses, and I think she's definitely the most beaten woman.
All right. There you go.
And Bailey's the top woman, obviously, apart from Asuka.
So Sasha Banks is the Bray Wyatt in the women's division.
Yeah. And you wouldn't think it.
No, you wouldn't.
That she gets booked, you wouldn't think.
But I think it's mostly because of her character and the way that she is over the way she is. They can get away with that. That she's going to lose that many times, but she's still going to be as popular with the fans.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So what makes good booking good then?
When it's organic.
Organic.
Do you mean when it feels like natural progression?
Yeah, when it's not forced, when it's the WWE goes, okay, here's a guy, and the crowd goes, oh, hey, he's alright, him, or a woman, and they go, oh yeah, she's alright, her, and they go, oh, you know what, yeah, alright, we hear you, we're gonna give this a go and see how this goes, and the crowd's like, oh, belter, yeah, this is really good.
When the crowd want it.
AKA NXT booking.
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan.
Well, he got over despite it.
See, but I think that was also clever booking because it just made you want it more.
Yeah.
And they pandered to that and they twisted that, so it was they rise you up a little bit, they push you back down, then you rise up a little bit, push you back down until just at WrestleMania. It was
They made the authority reflect real life as well about you're a B+ player and all this, and it's what was actually happening to him.
Mm-hmm. It was
when
very
it reflects real life again, also can make good booking. Not always.
Yeah.
Can make good booking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think.
So long as it's not like reflecting personal lives of the people involved.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'd say even then that can make really solid booking.
It can make.
Matt
Yeah, that made amazing telly. But saying
When there's
like
proper
Paige
football.
calling out Charlotte
like,
saying
yeah.
that.
Well,
I'm not going to repeat it,
well,
but
that
we all
was-
know what I'm on about.
Even that was scripted. Like, that was meant to look like real life. When you get things
No,
like...
that's bad.
Exactly.
That's
when you
bad.
think of the Montreal Screwjob, it was a real... even now, people don't know if it was real or not.
I still think it was a work.
No.
Plenty of people still do. And it's gone on for that long, and it did reflect the real life
If
situation.
that wasn't a work, Bret Hart would have never come back. Never. Natalia won't be working there. None of the Harts would have ever worked there.
The Hearts really like money.
You know, because most of them left after the Montreal Screwjob, as did
The only one who
most of the rest
stayed
of
was Owen, wasn't it?
Owen. Yeah, Owen
Yeah.
was the only one who stayed
But they all came back.
Yeah.
Because they all like money.
because they had no choice there. Money.
Yeah. Where else? Where else
bills.
are you gonna go?
TNA.
I don't know. I still think it was a work.
Not in 97.
No, I genuinely like there was like saying that with the screw job they get Vince getting punched in the face. I don't think, and the scuffle that happened backstage. I as much as you can work something, there's no way that you're gonna hit when you hit somebody in the face. You've really got to fucking hate them to apparently Vince was in a really bad way afterwards. You've got to fucking hate someone for that to
Again,
happen.
it's apparently. There's no photos of him afterwards. And...
He came out on Raw the next night, didn't he, with a black eye?
Ouch,
Yeah.
black eye.
Oh,
He could have just said, just hit me across the face, we want it to look real.
Yeah, that's true.
The amount, how many times have we had matches and gone, nah.
Well, and then
just hit me.
Sen brought over to WCW to ruin it even more.
And then have everyone threatened to walk out.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
true, that's true.
Yeah, I don't think that many people would have walked out unless they kept it between them. Brett was, but even then, that's a selfish act on Brett because people walking out not having a guaranteed job to walk into. That's a very if Brett was in on it, if Brett was in on it, and and people were threatening to go, oh no, don't you go, don't you out of the goodness of your heart, you're going to go, don't you walk. That's your instant thing, isn't it? Because you've got to look out for your friends and family, who did eventually walk.
Unless you're Earl Hebner.
Well,
In which case, you're just a scumbag.
well, yeah, but there we go. So yeah, bad fucking bad. I actually had for how would you have done it differently? I actually had the Montreal Screwjob. How would you have handled it different? Would you have had it the exact same way?
Well, was it booked?
This is also why I was like. I mean,
If it was-
it's more down as a storyline because it did.
Do you know what? I just wouldn't have had. I would have just let Brett not drop the title in Canada like he wanted. Just give the man what he wants on the way out.
Yeah, but
Would
then
have
you
saved just so much heartache and a broken eye, a black eye.
think of how many people that, when you look at it in retrospect, if it was a work, it was a very fucking good one.
I mean,
And if it
yeah.
wasn't, I kind of don't blame him for having thingy because how many times have you, the hometown hero has lost the match, the fans have rioted, people don't care now, you can't go around with the attitude, I don't want to drop the belt, it's not your belt to drop, at the end of the day, it's Vince's belt.
Yeah, I mean, and there's also the thing that's happened with it is that it's without the Montreal Screwjob, you don't get the character Mr. McMahon.
No,
You don't
definitely
get
not.
That's true. That's
That-
You don't get the mega heel in Shawn Michaels either for Stone Cold to then overcome.
Yeah, it's true.
And then that's what eventually wins you the Monday Night Wars.
You don't
Can
get
you
that
imagine?
whole corporate angle. that
Can
the
you
Rock
imagine?
bounced off.
It's still one of the biggest things that ever happened.
It's the
Like,
biggest
it's
what
the
if.
biggest.
I
It is the biggest what if.
I
ever.
remember as well, I think it was only 2 years ago, Charlotte and Natalia was in a title
Yeah.
match.
That's stupid,
And
that.
they did it again.
They did it with Undertaker in Chicago. In every time they're in Montreal, they have to reference it. They did it with Undertaker and CM Punk. Because but that was also it was ridiculous. That was also because Undertaker had never tapped, and then they just had Teddy come out. It's like, oh yeah, he tapped. I was like, no, he didn't. But never
That's what I think that they shouldn't be doing there because it is such a big thing. They're having all these references to it. I think they should just leave it as the big thing.
Yeah.
Maybe reference it.
Let
show
it
maybe
lie.
the occasional
Yeah,
promo. They could have even showed the promo what happened with, Natalia's dad when she had before she had the title match in Montreal. But then they just did the same thing. And then they referenced it. There might be young fans who are watching who don't know what the Montreal Screwjob was. So they should have just given the promo before it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not had not tap, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, because by redoing it, they're sort of like going...
Takes away from it.
Yeah. They're sort of going, well, we weren't that bad, you know, we didn't screw over our best wrestler ever, you know, that.
Yeah.
The next one I've got is Rey Mysterio's World Heavyweight Championship run in 2006.
Do you know what? It was perfect all the way up to him winning it. And even when he won it, it was the match.
This is what I would change. I'm not talking about up to WrestleMania. I'm talking about after WrestleMania, because he is officially
the Great Khali.
Yeah, he's the worst booked champion in history. Has to be. Well, how would you change it afterwards? Just not have him lose to those guys.
Basically just go do what he did, but do the opposite.
Yeah. Have him elevate a load of cruiserweight guys. Have him beat some heavyweight guys and be like, listen, I can beat these, but how about the people I've been in the division with since I started?
Yeah.
Let's give them a shot at my title because they deserve it. And he'd bring up a load of cruiserweight guys, and then, I don't know, he'd lose the title and then at Survivor Series have a 5-on-5 cruiserweights against heavyweight guys.
Yeah.
There's something spitballing, but it would be nice to have that disparity and show them we can do it too. That's why you probably wouldn't get 205 Live now, being a separate thing. Because it would already be...
Yeah. They wouldn't have let it die. They wouldn't have let it die, and they wouldn't have put the fucking belt on Hornswoggle.
Exactly.
Any other to add? I mean, that's pretty much it, isn't it? You just don't have him lose.
Don't have him lose.
This one could be very interesting. It's I think it's the second biggest what if, and it's the invasion. Because the two options with the invasion is, do you do it the way they did it but do it better, or do you wait for the rest of the contracts to run out like they did, because that's what Sting and Hogan and Nash and Hall did, and Goldberg, they all sat at home because they had guaranteed money that they were going to get even though WCW went under. Do you just sit at home with that money and then wait for the contracts to expire and then do it? Or do you buy out the contracts right away?
Do it similarly to how they did it. Buy out the contracts, use them, don't make it about the McMahons.
I think that was the problem with them knowing. I think because they already acquired WCW at that point. So then the reason they had Shane say that he'd bought WCW was purely just to carry on that storyline. And I think if they hadn't, they'd have had, it is ours, they'd have had the simulcast. They wouldn't really have had that. They maybe would have had Ric Flair say, "We'll see you next week." Something like that to, WCW is coming over to WWE, that type of thing. I think buying them out would have been the much better idea. And then because it was the go home show for that song to the X7, so you then have your biggest WrestleMania, you have your own celebration. The next night you have the NWO come out. Boom, there you go. I think buying out the contracts would have been so much better.
Yeah.
Because they got WCW for only $2 million. That's nothing.
Absolutely.
That's literally pennies for what it was actually worth.
And for what they had at the time as well.
So you could have afforded to buy out a few contracts. Even if it's just like, say, Sting.
It would have been about, I reckon a grand total would have been at least $100 million to buy out Goldberg, the original NWO and Sting.
So what you do is you wouldn't buy all of them, or you'd buy like a few out, then you get a year out of them, by which time the others have expired.
Yeah, that's true.
So you keep it going for a lot. You keep it going there.
Yeah, true. I mean, I think it would have been good to have seen the three original NWO come back, even though NWO was dead at that point. To see NWO in the WWE, they would have lost its, curved off rather quickly. I think, unless they did. I mean, when they brought them back in. Like, when was it, 2000? 2002, yeah. When they brought them back then, it was still...
the WWF with
a lethal dose of poison! It was, that's all of... They're my three that I've got, but it's... I'm not sure I've had... I mean, just think of the amount of matches that you could have had if you'd have bought out them contracts at that time. You'd have had the dream match of Sting versus Undertaker, like both in the prime. You'd have had Hulk Hogan versus Stone Cold. You could have done DX versus Hall and Nash.
I think the first two I would have bought would have been Sting
and Hogan. Probably.
No, I would have saved Hogan.
Really?
Oh yeah, because
Goldberg,
Sting and Goldberg, and maybe Scott Steiner, because Scott Steiner was hot as shit in 2001.
I got DDP, me.
Well, he came over.
He
anyway.
came over anyway.
He
What,
came
did
over.
he?
Anyway.
Yeah, he had the whole stalking Undertaker's wife.
Of course he did. I wouldn't have done that with him.
Again.
That's why I didn't remember him, because they treated him terribly.
Yeah,
And then he retired like a year later.
Oh, it still hurts, man.
The invasion's such a missed opportunity. That's why I wanted to bring it up. Just wanted to bring it up.
I don't think there is saving that. You just have to do it differently.
Not with
Yeah.
the people you had, no.
No. So is there? So I'll throw it to you guys. Is there any storylines or questionable booking decisions that you guys can think of down the lines? I mean, I really rocked my brains. I even left a star open, because I'm certain I was going to come up with another one, but I didn't.
The Undertaker at WrestleMania?
Oh,
The
I was gonna
streak
say
ended.
the
The
streak.
streak.
Yeah, because then I didn't like how the streak ended, and then he went
He
back
lost
on it,
again.
and then
Carry
he lost
on.
again.
Yeah.
Like, it should have ended when Brock beat him.
He should have retired. He should have had Brock not beat it and lose to Roman Reigns.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
If
should have been mine.
because then you get the rub off on a younger star. But saying that, when Brock did beat him, that turned Brock into this unstoppable
That's
monster.
true.
But then,
already pretty
and then
unstoppable,
and then
Nah.
Goldberg beat him.
Actually, can you
In
imagine?
seconds.
Imagine if Taker had got past Brock, he'd
Beat Bray.
he'd beat Bray, beat everyone, and then Reigns beat him for the first time. Imagine the crowd hated Reigns.
I think that would have
beating
been
him for the second time.
if you.
Can you imagine if it had been the first?
I think if that would have happened, they would have had to have turned him heel.
Yeah.
But it would have been the biggest fucking heel you'd have had since Vince McMahon.
That's
Yes.
what they should have done.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they should have done that the night after Raw anyway. Just beat the Undertaker. That's mega heat.
Yep.
But hey, yeah. Would you guys have not have given any other matches you've ended it earlier? Would you have had anybody end it before then?
Not really. I think it should have been someone like Reigns to beat the streak.
I think we all I think we agreed on this ages back. It should have been a younger star.
Especially if
To
they're
be
wanting
it.
to put over Reigns as this new, the top dog of the company, it should have been him to do it, not Brock.
Mind you, though, he's going to be the one to beat Brock for the Universal
That's
title.
true. So it's like you've both beaten the Undertaker.
And Roman's done you one better by beating you for your title.
Yeah, that's my fault. Cheers, playing footsie.
Where's your phone? Oh, it's back there now.
It got shy. So yeah, I'd agree that that's maybe what they should have done. Not had it lose to Brock, because I mean Brock would have still gone over as a massive beast anyway. And he didn't do anything with it for an entire year and a half. So
Well, the Cena match, the Cena squash.
okay, the Cena I'll give you. That was
The Cena
amazing.
squash, but he could have lost to Undertaker and still done that.
Yeah,
Mm.
wasn't the Cena squash before that?
No, that was after
SummerSlam. Yeah.
Uh,
It was a fucking match.
wasn't that Orton?
No.
That was
That was Orton.
That was all. What, the one he pounded his head in with the elbow?
That was Randy Orton.
but that was like 20.
Cena was before that.
No,
wasn't it?
No, Cena was-
No, you're right. No, you are right. That was 2016. That was after the shambles that was the thingy match with Ambrose, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Where Dean just not Dean. Dean had all these great ideas, and then Brock sandbagged all of them because he's a bell. Any others apart from the streak?
I think so. That's the main one.
That's the main one.
Main one in it. Okay, so let's go on to our own storylines. So we decided on 5 different paths to go down. We've got the tweener, a heel, a monster, an underdog, and a returning legend. So who wants to go first? Croft, this was your idea, so do you
I
want to?
don't mind.
So Croft has taken on the underdog storyline.
I certainly have.
Who have you chosen? Well, this is also the thing we all got to choose our own superstar to go with. Croft, who have you gone with?
I'll let you know in due course.
Oh, okay.
Give you a bit of background first.
Okay.
So, going to start with Roman winning the Universal title at this year's WrestleMania.
Yep.
Brock fucks off, goes back to UFC, just bails the gaff. In a bit, lads. Triple H goes back to full-on authority mode and offers his hand to Roman on the next night's Raw, stating the fans don't care about him. They're all booing you. He's got nothing to lose but a lot to gain by joining him. And in a shock move, Roman accepts.
Oh.
Trips then recruits Braun as part of his new evolution.
Oh my God.
UK tour. Trips, Roman and Braun all come out, Triple H announces it's time to welcome some new blood to Evolution. Pete Dunne walks
I knew that
out.
was coming, and I've just marked.
Pete Dunne joins Evolution. As he's walking down the entrance ramp, Neville's music hits.
Oh.
Neville comes out and batters him to a massive pop. Neville talks about being misused by management, being at the top of every division he's ever been in, including your brainchild NXT Triple H.
Yeah.
Yet Dunne gets a free pass into Evolution.
Okay.
Triple H invites him into the ring to prove his worth. Neville accepts, but gets halfway down the ramp and says, "But I didn't come alone." And out the crowd, loads of 205 Live superstars swarm the ring and overpower Braun, Dunne, and Roman as Triple H darts out and chases after Neville as he runs down the entrance ramp.
Fair.
On Raw the next night, back in the States, Tripp states Neville wasn't welcome on Raw and is in no way back with the company. 205 manager Drake Maverick appears on the Titletron with his newest signee, Neville. Trips is furious, as you imagine. That night, Dunne and Strowman win the tag titles off the bar. Neville becomes the face of 205 Live, but turns down every title opportunity, claiming he's proven his worth like Triple H asked him to do. After the attack from Neville and his cronies, Trips and Evolution show tension in the ranks over time. Dunne and Strowman lose the tag titles to Titus Worldwide, thanks to an assist from Tozawa and Neville. It's meant to be like you've lost the Titus Worldwide kind of gag. They're not classed as great, are they? It's a bit of a thing of, you got beat by them. Braun beats down Braun beats down Dunne, turning face afterwards. Inspirational match at the Raw pay-per-view. As punishment for losing the titles, Triple H puts Dunne against Neville, and the winner gets the spot in the new Evolution. Neville wins after a hard-fought victory, and gives Roman a low blow after the match, who, throughout all of this, is still Universal Champion. As Triple H tries to intervene, he's intercepted by Braun, who says he wants a shot at the title at SummerSlam, which is the next pay-per-view. On Raw, Triple H and Roman come out with Roman blaming Triple H for his misfortunes. He's mega heel at this point, chicken shit heel champion, barely defends it because Triple H is his best pal. Triple H turns face by saying, "Roman, you're not the pet project anymore. You've overstayed your welcome, and it's time for Triple H to have more faith in NXT after all." And he'd get both Braun and Neville at SummerSlam. And Neville wins the title at SummerSlam.
Nice.
That's very well thought out.
That is good. That is very
mine,
good.
that's-
That is very good.
Is yours even thought out?
Yeah, no, it's good.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, pop for the Pete Dunne coming out, and then Neville attacking him from behind.
Yeah.
Very good. So Neville's the underdog, or most of the cruiserweights are really
I
the
like
underdogs.
that.
in
Yeah,
I
it's
thought
kind
it was very
of
good.
pushing the cruiserweights and NXT is like
Yeah.
they've both kind of been pushed by Triple H, but is he really behind it after all? John?
Yeah, very, very good.
So, thank you very much.
Very nicely covered for the underdog. Who would like to go next?
I'll go next because mine's quite shit.
Alex has covered Tweener.
So
I can imagine this was quite hard, to be honest.
Yeah, it was. Because I wanted to go for Samoa Joe and then apparently I couldn't pick him. Did you do Samoa Joe in the end? Yeah, so I
Sorry, mate.
was really pissed off
A
about that.
lot of you just swerved that. I was like, no, I'll pick somebody else in the end.
I'd be so pissed off if you'd have done that. I remember being sat in the lecture thinking, oh yeah, I've got a tweener, I'm going to do Samoa Joe. And then he was like, well, I wanted fucking Samoa Joe. And I was like, alright then.
Didn't put up much of a fight.
No,
Go
you
ahead.
could have said no.
So I think I did that first. And you was like, but I have a good story. And I was like, alright. fine."
When did you type this story up?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Um,
For you to turn up today
last
and
week.
start it.
Oh,
in
okay.
kayfabe.
So
To that sound. Go ahead.
I picked Nia Jax. I wouldn't have had, like, before when we decided that we was going to do this was before that Nia Jax and fucking Asuka had all these bloody matches. But I would have, realistically, Nia Jax would beat Asuka. Like, if you look at it from a realistic point of view. And then I would have them on completely separate brands. So either Nia on SmackDown or Asuka on SmackDown, whoever. And this Mania coming, I would have Asuka win and become champion. And it goes on to Elimination Chamber. So, like, the following week, Nia Jax would come out and be like, I want your title. And they said, no, you're not doing this. You're on SmackDown. She's on Raw. Whatever. So she gets all in a hissy fit and they start doing, they're doing the new mixed pay-per-views where it's Raw and SmackDown. So they're going to do, like, women's tags. But to the point where, like, so if the heels was losing, it wouldn't be Asuka getting the pin. It would be the other person getting the pin, and it wouldn't be Nia getting pinned, the other person getting pinned. They never really come into contact because, like, they obviously tag partners don't really let it happen. Onto Survivor Series, and they dirt face, but like I think you were saying earlier, they get very, very close to facing, but they still dirt face, building up like people want to see it. At this point, I think Asuka's steel would start getting a little bit boring. The streak could get a little bit boring, sorry. It's getting a bit stale now anyway. But in the Rumble, I would have the Women's Rumble again, and I would have them miss each other. So one of them get eliminated before the other ones even come out, or something like that. And then on to Elimination Chamber, and I would have Asuka maybe at the beginning. So to keep her momentum and then go through all the other girls, kind of like what Braun did, and have Nia as the last pod and then eventually defeat her and become the new women's champion. I'd have a turn on Alexa Bliss somewhere in the process as well, because I really want to see that. I want to see them two not like each other anymore.
Yeah,
I agree.
Good. I mean, good. I like that they're not going together. I feel like I'm just judging everyone's stuff. I'm tired. It's like, yeah, it was good, but I thought you could have done this. So it's like,
I like keeping them apart. I like having those two.
Yeah, I really like that dynamic.
Unstoppable forces, and then finally put them together at Elimination Chamber.
Versus the irresistible force thing with the objects.
Yeah, man.
And I would have it so it looks like Asuka's going to get literally pinned as soon as Nia comes out of the chamber.
You really do. You just got it in for Asuka or something to just not like her.
Racist.
I'm not a racist. No, I just think that it's getting a bit stale now, and I think that Nia Jax would be the person
to do it.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I was really hoping that she would.
I mean, it was fine, but I think the only but I think the streak's fine, but I think like because now it's at the point of all these there's like whenever there's like a big match, it is like, oh, is it gonna happen? It's an instant like, you know, buy into the match.
Yeah.
So it's fine at this point. Do you want to fucking stop?
No.
Right. So next up, Willow. Oh, I'm going to say mine to last.
I'll do mine. I'll do mine.
The son of the Emperor.
So Willow has booked Monster.
Wow.
So you picked Samoa Joe. Take it
Sorry,
away,
mate. So,
Sunshine.
Start off with a bit of background. So we've got Miz, Intercontinental Champion, chicken shit heel, which she's currently doing now. Getting chased for the title by the number one babyface, so like Seth or Balor or someone like that. Miz comes close to losing as champion, but retains by a DQ, so a low blow or something. This is like an early on match on Raw or something, like curtain jerk or something. Backstage segment later on, we cut to the back, where the babyface is looking for Miz, and Miz gets beat up. He's like, "How dare you take this championship away from me?" Not a really babyface thing to do, but he is doing it on the heel. So you know. Next week on Raw, Miz comes out, says, "You're not going to do that again to me. I've got protection." Spotlight on the stage. It's a box.
Wow.
It's a box. Says, "You're going to find out what this protection is in due time." That's all and then he walks off.
I thought you were going to say that was it, and that's the end of the storyline.
A box!
That wasn't really protection, it was a box with protection written on it.
Sorry.
Is that a Face Man reference? The box.
Monster.
The monster.
A combination of
Samoan and face. That I call hate.
Samoan and Joe.
That's what I was going for. Continue. So you've got this box on the stage on a spotlight.
Right, yeah. So you got the box. You're going to find out what the protection is in due time.
It's a box of condoms.
So we basically we build.
Just Trojan horse.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
It's impossible to not be over when you come out of a box, isn't it?
It's true.
Go ahead.
Just not when that box is an egg.
I don't want to know.
Gobbledygooker.
Oh.
You of all people should have gotten that reference. Come on.
I thought I had in my head like a small egg.
Kinder egg, sorry. Build your own heel.
Oh, it's Callisto.
So you're saying is the gobbledygook because you're a monster then?
Sorry, go
So
ahead.
anyway, so few weeks go by, and Mrs. keeps taunting his box. What's inside the box?
What's in the box?
You know, any time that the baby face is wrestling, the box is there, looming, waiting
Right.
for the strike at any time.
Okay.
But then they have a rematch on the pay-per-view 3 weeks later, and the babyface comes this close, hits his finisher, the box opens.
Oh God.
It's Samoa Joe.
Excellent.
Runs to the ring, interferes in the match. Miz retains.
Okay.
Babyface pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Next night on Raw, Miz is out, got a promo. Look at this bitch, Samoa Joe. he's my protection, bitch. What you gonna do?
Bitch.
Out comes Kurt Angle. He's like, no, how we do things around here, Miz. Easy. Go to NXT, mate. So he sends Samoa Joe to NXT.
Oh, this obviously before he's ever been in.
Yeah, it's like this is official debut.
Yeah.
Obviously he's over because he came out of a box.
I know, and he's never been seen before.
And he's never been seen before, so everyone's like, oh my god, Samoa Joe!
Yeah, okay.
And he's like, NXT, mate. You don't just come up like that, NXT. So he debuts on a house show, and they're filming it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, cutting a promo, he's like, I've been sent here by fucking Kurt Angle. How dare he? Does he know who I am?
Mm.
Get anyone out here to fight me, I'll prove that I'm worth being on the main roster.
Mm-hmm.
Out comes Heath Slater.
Oh dear.
Heath Slater does the job.
Is this an NXT house show?
Yeah, NXT house show.
Okay.
So out comes Heath Slater. Everyone's like, oh my god, it's Heath Slater. Boom.
Yeah,
Dead on the floor.
gets killed.
He's like, and then after the match, he cuts another promo and goes, come on, this is it. Heath Slater. Come on.
Yeah.
This is my domain now.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Then he has his run in NXT. Very short run, so he's in the minds of the people.
Mm-hmm.
Gets called up to the main roster after winning the NXT championship. I basically couldn't think of anything for him to do in NXT.
Fair.
So I've just cut it dead short. Wins the championship, comes up to the main roster, starts having matches with jobbers as per Kurt Angle. And he's like, this is fucking... Basically like Braun Strowman did, where he's like, this is bullshit. Give me some proper competition.
Mm-hmm.
So he like climbs up the card via jobbers. So again, Heath Slater, Kurt Hawkins... And he's like, fuck this, I want 5. Starts doing the 5 count gimmick.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So he's like, right, I want 5 seconds to beat these. But he carries it on instead of dropping it like Brodus Clay does and everyone else. He carries on, beating people. So he climbs up the card, beating people with 5 seconds.
Before the 5 count.
So he'll go up the mid card and then starts building up against like Seth Rollins, John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
Beats him with 5 count. Wait a minute to here. He's like, right, I've beat like basically everyone with the 5 count here. Why am I not a champion yet? Why have I not been given this opportunity? And Raw GM comes out. He's like, you got one last challenge. So he's like, alright, who is it? Out comes debuts AJ Styles.
Oh.
AJ Styles debuts. So it's a good match, going backwards and forwards. Samoa Joe hits him with the Muscle Buster. 1, 2, 3. No, I need 5. 4. AJ Styles kicks out at 4.
Oh, yes.
And then the big face, AJ Styles wins.
And that's the end of the run.
That's the end of the run.
That's pretty good. I will give you that. Yeah, that was good. That was very good.
So the thing I was saying...
Given that we died at the mention of a box, that was very good.
I basically put that in there because I was like, nobody's debuted in a box for a while. I want someone to come out
Who
of
the
a
fuck
box.
has ever debuted in a box?
Chainsaw Charlie.
Oh, okay.
Oh, who can forget?
Oh, such a memorable debut.
Anderson debuted in Smoky Mountain under a sheet. I mean, it's a step up from that.
That's true.
Everything's a step up from debuting in an egg, anyway. Pete, you've got heel.
Indeed, and my heel of choice was Ted DiBiase.
Oh,
Senior or junior?
Senior.
So you're going old school.
Indeed.
Cool.
Very condensed, but basically I'd start by having him win the WrestleMania 4 match instead of Savage.
Ooh. Bit of change of history.
And then
okay.
basically he kind of gets Andre the Giant and King Kong Bundy as like his two bodyguards essentially.
Do they come out of a box?
No, they come out of a log. Why not? And then over time, basically, either those two get involved to help DiBiase retain, or if not, he just fucking pays them off.
Yeah.
And then over time, you get Savage wanting his revenge. Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior kind of even the score, 3-on-3. Basically, it'll all build up to WrestleMania 5 having Savage beat DiBiase for the title. In like a big woo face cover. And then after that, you can do fucking fighting over Miss Elizabeth and Hogan.
Nice.
Very nice.
Very nice. Very good. So I have the returning legend. I was struggling to think. I was like, because I could have gone old school. I could have done, like Hogan in the Attitude Era having jump ship type thing, which now I've said it would have been cool. But I was thinking, no, I'm going to keep it modern. So I was trying to think of today's WWE. It's like, okay, who's a legend who could come back in today's WWE? So at first I thought, I could do CM Punk. But that would have been the markiest thing I think we've ever would have done on a few good marks. So instead, I've picked Rey Mysterio.
Oh, great.
So obviously, we're going to start at Rey's last appearance, which was at Royal Rumble. So Rey Mysterio returns to the Royal Rumble. Next night on Raw, Kurt Angle welcomes him back. The newest member of Raw puts him in an Elimination Chamber qualifying match against The Miz, which Rey Mysterio wins. Goes into the Elimination Chamber, enters fourth in the match, but is eliminated first by Braun Strowman. Asks for a match against Braun Strowman the next night. I can, prove I can beat this guy. He loses that match as well. Just to let you all know, Ray comes off pretty bad at the start of this, but it gets better.
Okay.
Because otherwise, you just got to brace yourself for that. Ray gets put in a ladder match for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania. They've had him for a while, but he loses that too. I've now got to go to my other pages because it went on for longer than I thought it was. So Raw after Mania. Ray, so the Cruiserweight title obviously culminated at the title tournament. Culminated at WrestleMania the night before. Raw after, Rey Mysterio comes out. It's like, congratulations, you've done that. How about facing the Cruiserweight? Beats him for the title. It's a bit of a heelish thing to do, but it's at the same time, it's like the biggest Cruiserweight ever is now your Cruiserweight champion. Defends his title in a triple threat match against the two finalists, whoever they may have been. At Backlash, he does so successfully, but is then, after the match, attacked by a hooded figure who reveals himself to be Neville.
Hey!
Neville calls out Ray on Raw, but doesn't ask for a title match. Instead, he has to be put in the Money in the Bank ladder match because he can hold the candle and more to anyone on the roster. Kurt tells him he's a 205 Live guy, sets up a match. Sets up a number one contenders match, which Neville wins. Ray defeats Neville by disqualification at Money in the Bank. The return bout, which is a ladder match, which is Extreme Rules, which Ray wins, but the two shake hands after the match. So there's a show of respect there. The next night on Raw, Ray gets to choose his own tag team partner to face the tag team champions. He picks Neville and they win. The next week, Ray and Neville are in a tag team match for the tag team title belts, but this time they lose. The next week, Ray says that Neville has a point, saying that they've proved that their weight limit doesn't define them. They can beat anyone, and he wants a World Heavyweight title shot. Kurt comes out and says, you're the Cruiserweight champion, you can't challenge for the Heavyweight title belt. It's not how it works. Neville then tells Ray, I think I've earned a title match, another one. Ray agrees. It's set up for SummerSlam. Pre-show of SummerSlam, Neville tells Ray he respects him, but he doesn't want him to just lie down in the ring. He knows that Neville knows that Ray really wants a title match, and he's like, but I don't want you to lie down for me. I want you to go out there and prove and show everyone why you want that heavyweight title match, and and put up a good fight for me. SummerSlam, Neville and Ray Neville beats Ray for the Cruiserweight title in a 20-minute classic. 25 minutes.
Go on, lads.
They just get booked like to that level, like, you know, main cards, none of this pre-show bollocks. Also on SummerSlam, Finn Balor beats Roman Reigns for the Universal title.
Ooh.
Obviously, Roman having won it at WrestleMania, as we all know he's going to. While the rematch for the Universal title is scheduled for Hell in a Cell, so it's Roman versus Finn again. A number one contender tournament is set up with the final taking place at Hell in a Cell. So you've got your title match and the number one contenders match on the same night, which I think doesn't happen anymore, and it really should. I think it's a really cool thing to have, like, the champion not only having to worry about who he's got to face that night, but who he might face in the future. In the final, Ray beats John Cena to become the new number one contender.
I like that.
Which is a little bit of retribution for the WWE title thing, which I'm still really salty about. Finn retains his title. Then at TLC, Rey Mysterio defeats Finn Balor to become the new Universal Champion and goes on to face AJ Styles at Survivor Series in a champion versus champion match.
Ah, that's lovely.
Sit down.
I'm a big fan of that.
It was literally for those last 3 matches. I tried to, like, after I think I got up to SummerSlam, and then I was thinking, right, how do I get Ray into the heavyweight title picture, and how do I make him make a point about his weight limit? So I've just had him kind of come in. He's raised up the thing of 205 Live. I was going to have it so that they unify the belts. So it was Cruiserweight Champion versus Heavyweight Champion, but obviously, like, if you're heavyweight, but that would have been way too obvious, because if your heavyweight champion's won, like, you know, he's not a cruiserweight, is he?
Yeah.
So it's like, unless it was like Finn Balor, it would have worked.
Mm-hmm.
So I could have done that, but I just felt it was, you know.
I quite like how it ended with.
But it's raised the profile of it a bit. Obviously, you know, the bits in between as well is what I think would really have made it, like, up a bit. Raise the profile of 205 Live a bit, but yeah, that's that.
Yeah, big fan of everyone's there.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone's done really, really well.
Candy done one.
Huh?
It doesn't matter! Candy's done one.
He didn't do one, no.
R.I.P. Candy.
Our champ with us in spirit. Just in peace. So that is it for A Few Good Marks. Our next one, I believe, is another Fed Watch for us covering Fastlane. So we got that to look forward to. We're all looking forward to Fastlane, folks.
Woo! No.
We're all so excited. It's going to be fun either way. So listen to us take the piss out of Fastlane, providing whether it's good or bad. So
Hopefully it breaks the curse.
Probably breaks the
Fastlane.
curse. So do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all that jazz. And we shall see you after Fastlane. Au revoir, auf Wiedersehen, bye bye.
Bye then.
In a bit.
Fuck you.